Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is your weekly Sofa Manager Scottish football podcast, and on this week, something a little bit different. We're going back to some pre-recordings we have since I've just come back from holiday to the very, very famous Le Mans 24 Hours. I'm sure you all heard of it before. You better have, otherwise I'll be very unhappy. So this week we're going to be revisiting a chat between myself and John Brown last week, speaking about the SFA's Project Brave. And we'll bring to you also our Ligue 1 and Bundesliga reviews from myself, Paul, Andrew and Darren. And normal service should be resumed as of next week, where we should be talking about the Europa League qualifiers and maybe a little bit on the Confederations Cup and all the transfers going on. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you enjoy. I guess moving on, I am the Ligue 1 expert, Paris Saint-Germain fan myself, and unfortunately, we finished second this year.
Terrible.
Unbelievable. Shock, horror. I'm sure there will be shock all around Europe. Why, you ask, Andrew?
Why?
Oh, there we go. Well, I'll start with where PSG went wrong, I think. At the start of the season, obviously a new manager from Sevilla, we talked about earlier. Unai Emery came in. I thought this was a fantastic move for PSG, you know, a coach that has had real success in European competition, and that's the one area PSG have really been looking to build on, is how far they get in European competition. Monaco blew that out the water. So he came in, he wanted to play something called a system, which blew the minds of all PSG players who had been playing under Laurent Blanc, who essentially told them to do their own thing. Much, I think, as Zidane actually does at Real Madrid. So they tried this system, you know, as per, it didn't go down so well, especially in the early part of the season where they lost quite a lot of games, actually. And they were mid-table for a lot of time, took them a while to catch up. And an early loss to Monaco as well, which I think really set the tone, gave Monaco the confidence to really kick on. And Emery eventually kind of shied away from using the systems and just kind of let them go back to the way they were playing before. But also the signings for PSG. Ben Arfa, I mean, started playing a few games but kind of fell off the wagon. You know, I don't think Newcastle fans, such as John scouting in Lanzarote, will be too surprised by that. You know, Ben Arfa seen as a bit of a lazy sod.
That's true.
For us. Although there's a really weird motivational video of him on he posted on YouTube today.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, obviously on his way out of PSG, so he's gone mental. It's him on a beach doing like fitness stuff with some like rap music. But it's got some really weird close-ups of him looking hard. It's a really weird thing. But also other ousted players, Krachariak, formerly of Seville as well. Yeah. Weird, I thought he'd get on brilliantly with the manager.
I did think he'd do well. Yeah.
Did not happen. He ended up playing, you know, PSG like C games, like reserve games. It's
crazy.
Racing off in his McLaren, you know, while the guys had to like cycle to get to those games. So absolutely crazy. And Hesse, was a massive disaster.
He was, yeah.
I think it was 16-17 million paid for him.
I think so, yeah.
Ended up on loan somewhere in Spain.
Las Palmas.
I don't think he even did that well there, did he?
No.
So PSG a lot to look at signings wise next season, which is unlike them. But I guess to Monaco, man alive, did they get it right?
Oh, they did.
In almost every respect. A really good mix in that team of youth and experience. And the manager, Jardin, who's just signed a contract extension until 2020 today.
Oh, has he?
So good news for them. You know, really just lets the players go out and express themselves. You know, you see that the younger players are really fearless, is how I describe them. I think Mbappe is just such a revelation this year, such a breath of fresh air as far as football is concerned. You know, he reminds me a lot of, I think, a better Rashford, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, he's like a French Rashford.
French Rashford, which of course means a better Rashford. Just so direct, and every youngster in that team's like stepped up. You know, your Bakayokos, your Mendy's, but even the older players. I thought Glick has had a fantastic season. For example, Polish centre back, someone I've always actually admired, especially in the international scene. You know, very, very strong. And Falcao has found his form as well.
Again, yeah.
Turned up at the Monaco Grand Prix the other week, in fact.
Did he? Oh, I've never heard that.
What do you think he was driving, Darren? What do you think? What supercar was Falcao's?
Was that a Ferrari?
No, nearly.
What was it?
was a McLaren.
Was that
He's got a
McLaren?
McLaren 675 LT.
All right.
Parked it next to a Bugatti Chiron, which I feel was it's a bad move. It's a bad move. Who was possibly the owner of Monaco. And that's the one thing that should be stated. Whilst Monaco have a lot of these young players, it's not too much of a miracle story. There's a very, very wealthy, I think, Russian businessman behind that.
Right.
And whilst Mbappe is actually a youth product from Paris, nice one there. He has come through the Monaco system. Most of them have just been very, very savvy signings early on in their career. And I see that they've signed, I think, Yuri Tielemans.
Yep, the Anderlecht youngster.
Anderlecht youngster, someone who's very, very highly rated in European football at the moment. I think 20 million euros. It was a lot of money.
Well, that is justified though. He again, he's another one on FIFA where he does have a lot of potential. But again, I looked at it, and then you see the videos of him. Like, did you see the game where he scored 2 goals from outside the box? And it was with his right foot and his left foot, and they were both in either side of the top corner.
Yeah.
And you can't get that in the Premier League.
No,
That's true.
no, he's a very, very exciting footballer, and that's the sort of players to build a good team. You know, you saw Dortmund did it. You need to build the youth, don't you? I think Ajax, another really, really big perpetrator of that. Yeah, I guess we'll come back to that, interestingly, in my Bundesliga roundup later. So, no, and also, you know, Falcao, Valet Germain, a fantastic experienced striker for Monaco, actually came up with them from Ligue 2 and has just raised his game, kept it maintained up there. So, no, well done them. I think PSG... Yeah, it was about time to, you know, lose the league for them. I guess they need a bit of a kick up the butt to realise, you know, we're not all that. And they've been thoroughly embarrassed.
They need to respond next season, though, don't
Oh,
they?
absolutely. I mean, you know, they've tried for years what Monaco did at a canter.
One season.
This season, you know, get into the Champions League semi-finals? Semi-finals. An unbelievable achievement, because it's not a huge squad either. So, yeah, I think they're the Leicester story of this year to a certain extent. It's
So
not
can they
quite
keep
the
it
same.
up?
Well,
I think their biggest thing will be trying to keep that team together. Really.
well,
I think they will. The only player that I can see, they've already lost Bernardo Silva. I can see them keeping the other winger Lamar, and I think Mbappe might go, but I don't think that's going to be huge.
see, I saw an interview with Mbappe on the Ligue 1 review show, and he spoke very, very well. And he's saying, you know, if I leave somewhere, it'll be on my terms. You know, I want to look to now establish myself in a team. And the way he said that, to me, strikes me as if he think he might stay.
Well, if he goes to like the likes of Real Madrid, I'd say Real Madrid would be perfect. But again, the manager might just stick with Benzema.
But I don't know why you'd leave. I think Monaco, you have such a brilliant lifestyle. You know, in a place where you're not actually taxed that heavily either.
I thought we've got no tax.
No tax,
No
exactly.
tax, there we go.
You know, but you're playing in front of a crowd akin to a Hibernian crowd week in, week out, and nobody wants that. So we'll wait and see. I mean, you know, figures been touted about of 120 million euros, 100 million euros. I don't see any serious bidders emerging as of yet.
I've seen stuff about Arsenal.
I think Arsenal's been making bids,
but again, I don't. He shouldn't go. The only
That's
way
not a right move.
the only way he'd go to Arsenal is if he spoke to Thierry Henry, and I don't know if he's an inspiration to him, but it could be Thierry Henry could sway that one.
You have to think Arsenal's not even got Champions League football this season.
No.
So why would you move from a club that's got Champions League football to a team that's not?
Did they get Europa?
They got the Europa
Europa.
League, yeah, because they came fifth.
But PSG are reportedly circling around Alexis Sanchez as well.
Oh, alright, yeah.
Sanchez and Ozil must leave.
Yeah.
You know, the level of success at that club's not good enough, I think, for either of them.
Actually, going back to the Champions League, one of the best moments was Ozil when he dinked it over the goalkeeper, and then he took on the two defenders.
That was a
and
great
passed
goal.
it. That was probably the goal of the
It's
competition.
actually really nice to see, because that's what he was known for
Yeah.
back in his younger days, that kind of amazing ball control. And we've not seen it from him in a while. I think
Doesn't do it enough. No.
Yeah, he's been fading a bit at Arsenal there, maybe lack of motivation or something like that.
Too much money.
Well,
I think he's getting a new deal, isn't
They'll
we'll offer him a new deal.
he? Yeah.
But if he takes it or not, well, that's yet to be seen.
I know. He'd be mad to sign it. But speaking of Ligue 1, again, Nice, who I've not quite mentioned yet. Another fantastic season, finished third. Kind of faded a bit towards the end, but we're up there, we're leading the league. Fantastic team spirit there, and obviously Mario Balotelli finally finding a nice wee home for himself.
Well, he's found a nice home, but is he going to stay?
I really hope he stays.
Is he a free agent now?
He's a free agent now. And I don't think he will stay, but I think he should, because it's where he's found success. And we've seen it when players move on in the past. Sometimes you just fit at one club. He
did fall off towards the end of the season though. He went quite quiet.
He did fall off, but the whole team fell off.
Well, to be fair, what was the youngster? It was a youngster a couple of years ago. It was the Moroccan boy Belhanda.
Yunus
Belhanda. They signed him, which was a good move.
I think for him coming back to Ligue 1, I think from Schalke, it was a good move. He's really struggled in the Bundesliga, but back to Ligue 1.
Didn't he win the league with Montpellier?
He did years ago in the season where Giroud was top scorer. Yeah. So that's where Giroud had one good season and got signed by Arsenal, and by miracle stayed there ever since. They also have Dante. You remember the Bayern Munich centre half? Yeah. He's been quite good, just inexperienced. So they've built a nice wee squad there. Finished with the top three there, getting the Champions League spots. Behind them in the Europa League was Lyon, Bordeaux, Marseille. Three more famous names. Marseille, I believe, looking to pick up. They've had a few good players this season. Gomez finding his form after Swansea.
Did Payet ever play that well?
Payet wasn't a big standout for them. Actually, Florian Thauvin, formerly of Newcastle,
he played well.
Played really well. And they're apparently bidding for Moussa Sissoko.
He's a big waste of money. He's just strong, and he'll just he looks like the kind of player that will run through brick walls.
Well, he's been moaning at Tottenham again.
Like if you watch the Euros, how Iceland played, like the two wingers, like they both just looked like they just want to run into people and just run. That's all he wants to do. Like he did it well for France because he was coming up against the smaller left backs and stuff. But in the English game, there's quite a few smaller ones, but as soon as he comes up to a centre back, he's done.
Well, I saw him a few times for Tottenham. Like coming on, particularly as a sub, I thought he was much more impactful, just running at fullbacks, dribbling by him. But I think it's really hard to motivate him properly.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that materialises. Marseille have a bit of cash to spend as well. I believe at the moment under new ownership. And Lyon back in the Europa League. I think they'll be a bit disappointed, but another team who performed excellently in this year's Europa League, getting again to the semi-finals. Unlucky against Ajax.
Lacazette did seem absolutely distraught after that because I think this was a sign the time where he thought, I've been here long enough, it's time for me to win something. But he just got let down because he got
dragged them through that tie, didn't he?
Yeah, he got nothing towards him. But every time he got the ball, he was getting on target, and it was quite good.
I know. Lots of good young players there. Maxwell Cornet, the really good young striker, scored some absolute screamers in the Europa League group stages earlier in the season when they were absolutely thumping teams left, right, and centre. So French football's where it's at right now. You look at all the good young players coming through. It's French. So that's the place to look to, I think, for the next good players. As far as other people coming in, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang to PSG looks like to be a dead cert.
If that happens, I think he's going to flop.
Top scorer in the Bundesliga this year.
But look at the players behind him though. Like the delivery he has from those players is going to be a lot different to PSG. Because the Dortmund players don't make anywhere near as much as the Monaco players.
Or as PSG players.
Oh, PSG, yeah.
No, but I see your point exactly. Well, interesting. I think, I've slated Cavani all year.
I think he's fantastic.
I don't think he takes enough
chances.
Don't
change your mind now.
Well, the thing is, he won Ligue 1 Player of the Season, right? He scored 35 goals, I think it was. Yeah, 35 goals he got in Ligue 1. And not many strikers go out and score 35 goals in one league season.
He misses a lot of chances, but he's one of these players who'll take the risk all day. Like, even if he keeps missing, he'll keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's not let his head get down, and there's some brilliant finishing in him. Just needs to be a bit more for me. And I think for a team the ilk of PSG, there needs to be more than one striker playing up top. I don't think he'll pair up with Aubameyang well.
Cavani runs about like a lot, whereas Aubameyang is more of a direct. Like he will run, but he'll only like direct. Like if he can get into stride, he'll go, and Cavani would get in his way.
Yeah, I couldn't see the two playing together.
No. Well, we'll see how it turns out next season. What team Monaco come back with? Be interesting to see. Relegations, Bastia went down. Darn right they went down. There was a horrific incident with them playing Lyon.
Oh, I heard that, yeah.
The fans just went crazy. There was loads of violence. Lyon players has to walk off. And they play in Corsica, so the island just south of France, and they had to play the rest of their home games on the mainland behind closed doors. So no one will be sad to see them go. And Lorient got...
they got relegated
taken
in the
down in the
playoffs.
One of the few, I think, European teams to actually be relegated in their playoff system. I think Troyes, who'd only been down for a year. And unusually, the second leg was 0-0. So I thought that was very, very weird. But no, they went down. So, no, very exciting. Looking forward to next season. PSG, get your act together, is all I'm saying. So good luck to them. So, our last league, Bundesliga. This is a league I actually really, really like. I used to watch a lot of highlights when I was at uni. Bundesliga on a Sunday morning, have your wee fry up, bacon, potatoes, scones. Bundesliga highlights. It was all good, great quality football. This year I haven't kept up with it so much. So, like Andrew, I'm referring to my notes. Okay, Bayern Munich, unsurprisingly winning the league again. But pushed by Red Bull Leipzig this season, who I was a big fan of at the start of the season, spoke a lot about them on a podcast.
You did, yeah.
Again, a similar mentality to the Monacos of this world, to the Ajax of this world, focusing a lot on young players. And brought a lot of good young players in. I think Keita was one of the young players they brought in, did fantastic. Emil Forsberg, another star for them, about 25, but they've had him for a number of years. A lot of animosity, though, towards Leipzig because of the models of football in Germany.
Like, they're really passionate about the one team, though, because Leipzig, I'm surprised that... Well, you're not surprised that they're moaning about it, because they're completely against commercialisation, or just like, especially with the owners, are very hostile, because you never really see any big money takeovers.
No, but they moan about it. Hoffenheim had a big money backer. That's what took them into the Bundesliga. Wolfsburg are owned by like Volkswagen, and is it Schalke are owned by like a pharmaceutical company?
Oh, Schalke are struggling though.
That's not Schalke. Someone's owned by a pharmaceutical company. Is it HSV Hamburg? Because I think the HSV actually stands for like the pharmaceutical.
I think you might be right, yeah.
There's one of the teams owned by a pharmaceutical company, essentially. So, and it's not as if like Leipzig came round and did a Man City, did a PSG. The players they signed were kind of young players, not an unreasonable amount of money.
Especially the Scottish boy. I don't think anyone had.
Well,
and no one thought about to sign him.
No.
But to be fair, he's been all right for Leipzig. He got his chance with Scotland, but they've kind of dropped him off a little bit.
Yeah, it's a bit strange. We've not picked him for the Scotland-England game.
But again, striking sticks for the players he wants. But I'll not moan about that.
No, we'll moan about that later, actually. But, Burke played sporadically, made some good assists, some good goals in the earlier part of the season. I don't know his record towards the later part of the season. But he'll be playing in the Champions League next year. Yes! I'm struggling to name another Scottish player that will be playing in the Champions League next year. So he'll be flying the flag.
Let me go through the Celtic team.
Okay, in the group stage. No, you don't know that they'll be playing in the Champions League next season, though, do you?
Yeah, because their manager's Brendan Rodgers.
You think they're going to get to the group stage?
What?
You think they're going to get to the group stage?
They'll get to the group stage.
Yeah, I think they will.
Yeah.
You wait, they'll get like flipping Man U in the playoff round or something.
Nah, they'll pull off something magic. What do you mean Man United?
Wouldn't it be Man United?
Man United, wouldn't
No,
they?
wait, no, Man United are in because they won the Europa
League.
Yeah. So they're in the qualifier, I think.
No, I think
No, they go straight into the Champions
So
League.
would it be Tottenham or Man City? One of them has to play a playoff.
Is it not Liverpool?
No, Liverpool got dropped out. They're now in the Europa.
Ah, right.
No, they're not.
Are they not?
No.
No, I'm sure it's Liverpool.
Fourth position.
No. There's going to be 5 teams. And I've actually
it's like Spain last year, so Seville won the Europa League, so they went straight into the Champions League.
And they've now revised that they all get automatic qualifying places, I've just realised. Maybe not Man United, I'm not so sure. So we'll wait and see. I've loved Leipzig this season, very interesting to watch. Nabil Keita, that was his name. He's been looked at by Liverpool.
Ah, yeah, I did hear that. Yeah.
Nearly beat Bayern Munich late in the season, but got beat like 5-4.
That was game of the season.
It was an epic game.
Sensational match. I don't know what. Just the last 5 minutes, completely.
The goals. It
dropped
wasn't just the simple goals either. It was some of them were belters.
Yeah.
We had Borussia Dortmund in 3rd place. I think they'll be a little bit disappointed they were pipped by Leipzig this season.
I'm surprised Dortmund let the manager go.
Well, Tuchel lost his job for it today, replaced by Peter Bosz.
The Ajax manager.
Yes.
Yep.
Which I think is a fantastic replacement because Ajax is a place with a very similar...
Well, it's a fantastic replacement, but again, did Dortmund not win the cup?
They won the DFB.
They did, yeah.
Like, he's won that, and they did all right in the Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
Well...
I don't know. I think there was something... I think the owners were starting to have a bit of conflict with him. I think, especially after the stuff from the Champions League.
It was quite controversial.
Yeah, so I think that's what broke down the relationship, and I think that's why they parted ways.
Well, we could see him back. He's been touted to replace Claude Puel at Southampton if he leaves.
Is he?
No, he's gone.
Is he gone?
Yeah, so
Is he away?
I saw
Yeah.
that this morning.
Oh.
Well, don't be surprised if we see, I think, Thomas Tuchel replace him there. Again, another good fit. Southampton, a team with a very similar philosophy. Another team, Dortmund, that were interested in Moussa Dembele. But would he be the second best Dembele in that team? With Ousmane Dembele, you could play Dembele and Dembele up front. Confused teams to no end. Which one's playing in which position? We can't tell from the team sheet. It's both the same. So yeah, finishing third for them. I think they'll be a bit disappointed. Hertha Berlin, another team that challenged.
John Brown will be happy about that.
John Brown obviously visited the Olympiastadion earlier in the year, loved it. They fell away, sadly. So they'll be getting a Europa League spot, along with, I think, FC Cologne.
Oh, they did, yeah. That's right.
Who I think just came back into the league as of last year. So an excellent performance by them. One of the best strikers, Anthony Modeste, Frenchman there, getting 25 goals. He could be a target, I think, for a few big teams this season. And Wolfsburg just avoiding relegation in the playoffs with Mario Gomez. It's a good song. I'll play the clip over this maybe if I've got time. Mario Gomez scoring 16 goals after what was quite a big slump in the season for him. But the talismanic.
What age is he now?
Oh,
35?
35.
34, 35, yeah.
So the talismanic striker. Very much the Lee Miller of Germany, I think, Darren. Tall guy, good in the air.
I mean, I'd probably say Lee Miller's not quite as technical with his feet, but might challenge him in there, maybe.
So Gomez doing well there, and Hoffenheim, funnily enough, the other team with the Europa League spot. So that is your Bundesliga roundup from me. Do we want to talk about it today? We'll talk about it today. What do you make of, I think Dumbarton recently shut down their youth academy under an SFA, not incentive, but a scheme. Have you heard about this?
Project Brave.
Project Brave, yes. Yep. I couldn't remember the name of it. Thank goodness you did. Of shutting down youth academies to focus the development in Scotland. Good idea, but bad idea.
It's an interesting way forward because I know Falkirk are putting in for this and it's costing a lot of money.
I would not be surprised to see a Falkirk Youth Academy shut down in the next.
Well,
or are they putting in for?
They're putting in for this Project Brave. However, I'm not sure if this is a joint venture with the Shire and Steny, as is the Forth Valley Academy.
Right, so they would be like a not like a prime team, but like a.
It's kind of like a conglomerate,
like a hub.
A little bit, yeah.
Right, okay.
So you're kind of looking at a kind of Forth Valley Academy, which feeds, say, Stirling Albion, Alloa, Falkirk, Steny, the Shire.
So that doesn't work.
I don't know. It's okay. I mean,
I know, right? You'd be happy with it because you're at the top of that pyramid.
Yeah, you'll get the very, very good player. But even if you're like, say, Stennismuir, and you've got a guy who doesn't quite meet Falkirk's criteria, there's a good chance you're going to get him.
So he'll still end up playing football somewhere. Yeah. Not professionally though.
No, it'll be semi-professionally. And I think with this Project Brave, they're trying to add in like out of football skills.
All right.
Like trades and all this kind of stuff, higher education.
I mean,
which is needed, to be honest.
It is needed, but if you do that, you dilute the kind of football training that they get.
A little bit, but I mean, you remember the folk at high school, at Graham High? Like Sims was one of them.
I blacked that from my memory. I got bullied a lot.
No, okay.
John Brown and Darren Gibson. All they did was beat me down every day.
Still your football.
Talked about how wonderful Falkirk were and how they needed no signings to improve the team.
Putting the football over the railway tracks.
I always used to bring that football in as well, and
God damn it,
never got any appreciation. Anyway,
take it for granted.
Aye,
but that kind of thing, like you spend your mornings training, you spend your afternoons in a classroom, and it's a proper academy. You know, you've got to teach these guys like proper sports science, nutrition. Because I think that's an issue as well. I mean, we're sitting here, we're vastly overweight, so we can't really comment.
I wouldn't. Vastly is not a word I would use.
Okay, vastly. What is vastly overweight?
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. I think it's very handy, especially if these guys are going to end up part-time, which I think is a grim reality for a lot of young footballers. I think that the thing that hit me a lot with the Dumbarton thing was the shutting down of the pro youth teams, basically at school level, and telling these guys, you have to now go out and find somewhere else. And that's at a crucial time, when you're 14, 15.
Oh, aye, if you want to take it semi-seriously, you'll join a pro club.
And it now makes things very difficult for them. But, Dumbarton are a club that struggles, and I can see
why they did it, because it really should be, unless you're going to do it as a kind of like a joint venture, then there's no point in an individual club like Dumbarton doing it. Why would they spend the money to keep it going? That's
absolutely
stupid.
But I don't think it addresses the issue. I think it's a solution into the fact that we do not have the resources in this country. But you don't need resources to build good players.
You just need like a playing field.
Yeah.
In a sort of housing scheme.
What the really top guys have, which I do not see in a lot of the professionals we have today, is that work ethic. If you look at the great Scotland players of the past, your Jinky Johnsons, even the great teams, like that Aberdeen team that won European Cup, the Celtic teams, the Rangers teams, they'll all have grown up in like hard areas of Glasgow.
Mm-hmm.
And I even think of like, my grandparents and things, how hard they had to work for what they had. That work ethic was instilled in these footballers, and that's what I believe made them so good.
Aye.
And now we're seeing the end of that into what I think is actually quite a lazy generation of youths.
I mean, I'm part of it, so I can vouch for it.
I know. I mean,
nobody wants to work for a living. They all just want it given to you. I want it given to me.
X gon' give it to you. Why gon' give it to you? Anyway,
we'll edit that out as well.
We're talking about serious social issues.
That's true though. Yeah.
Well, that's one thing. This year, I went through teacher training, for example. I saw so many people drop by the wayside because you were working day and night, and some people just couldn't hack it. And I thought, damn, I'm working hard, but there's people out there that work a darn sight harder.
Aye.
And if you want to make it, if you want to be a top footballer, that's what you need.
You've got to be in it, but you need the facilities. I would also argue that as well.
I think it's a bit of both. I mean, I think one of the best examples of youth development is Ajax. And I saw a documentary about them in recent times, and the facilities there are fantastic. They've got all these big, those fancy indoor pitches with the bubble.
It's like big domes.
The big domes and stuff, which I actually noticed, Rangers have quite a lot of those facilities.
Murray Park's quite impressive. I think Lennoxtown isn't too far behind.
And that's the thing, Rangers, they were always the team that had the great Scottish players. Celtic was usually a bit more international. Mm-hmm. You look at Rangers legends, they tend to be a little bit more Scottish than maybe, Henrik Larsson.
Stan Varga, Didier Gat.
I'm thinking Lubo, but what's his name?
Moravcic.
Yeah, there you go. Players like that, and
I mean, even like Hearts have got that Orion Centre at Harry Watt. That is unbelievable. It's even got one of the kind of treadmills underwater.
What? Oh, aye.
I'm like, wow, that's cool.
That is good, actually. But I mean, Hearts produced. They actually had a good wee spurt recently where you got Callum Patterson, you got Sam Nicholson,
Dale Carrick,
Muirhead. I think 2-3 players kind of came through there, but then we had our Dundee United generation, where you got Mackay Stephen, you got Armstrong, you got Gold,
Robertson.
But I think didn't 3 of them come from Queen's Park?
They did when they were like 16, 17.
So Queen's Park brought those guys through.
Aye,
which throws the whole.
Oh, it brings it back to kind of like grassroots stuff, because it is Glasgow fundamentally, and all these guys would have been locals. Mm-hmm. Playing on a kind of pitch, local pitch. So that in that regard it works. I mean, it's just like I say, if there's a grass pitch within the 100 metres of your house, of course kids are going to go play.
There's grass on the pitch, play ball.
Indeed. Even if it's like a clay court.
Yeah, I think absolutely. Is the moral of the story is get these guys out playing. Mm-hmm. There's no point in hiding them away in the academies. And you see with the top guys, like when Ryan Fraser came through at Aberdeen, he was on the pitch at 16. He was sold by 17 years old, and he was so lucky because Eddie Howe was fantastic at taking him under his wing and saying, like, Ryan, I've got a plan for you. He went to Ipswich, he did his time, and usually when these Scottish players go out on loan is when they fall away. And, seeing him come on there in that Scotland game was actually a really proud moment to think, well done, Ryan. You've done well for yourself. And you look at the physicality of him.
Oh, aye.
And I think that's another weak point of the Scottish games is these guys just don't put in the gym work.
I mean, the only one you can think of who is built like what you would like them to be is Ollie Burke.
Aye. Well, I think Patterson's quite
a
robust looking fellow.
He looks alright, but
the rest of the guys are pretty weedy.
You're attacking kind of front line. Oliver Burke's the first one that jumps in your mind for who's going to be like 6'2", Billy Cabardoa, and he's got pace and physicality. Mm-hmm. I was reading the Leipzig. I don't know if he's the owner or the kind of the head of the kind of club structure, basically saying that he's going nowhere, even though he's only played so many games. And you're like, yeah, I wouldn't expect him to play every game. He's only 20 years old, and you're second in the Bundesliga. Like, that's just a crazy assumption. But that's a Scottish media mentality as well. Ryan Goldberg, 21, he's expected to be playing every week for Sporting Lisbon. I mean, come on, how many other 21-year-olds are starting regularly?
Yeah, but if you want to be a top player, you need to be out there when you're 18. You know, you look at Bale, you look at Ali, you look at...
But they weren't playing for...
Ali was a slightly different case because he came up with MK Dons, which probably assisted his development humongously.
Less pressure as well because there's no fans, but...
No real fans, it's not a real club. But it's an interesting topic that we could go on and on for a long time about. But I think that is us for this week.
Indeed.
Yeah, I'll probably split this up into 2 parts. So thank you for listening from me, Paul.
Thanks for listening from John.
And Ghost Andrew. Okay. Thanks for listening, guys. Listen next week.
Indeed, yes.
Bye bye.
Cheers.